Authored by Mike Krieger via Liberty Blitzkrieg blog. Trust me, there's nobody more thrilled to see Facebook's unethical and abusive practices finally getting the attention they deserve from mass media and members of the public who simply didn't want to hear about it previously. I've written multiple articles over the years warning people about the platform, links at the end, but these mostly fell on deaf ears. That's just the way things go. All sorts of horrible behaviors can continue for a very long time before the corporate media and general public come around to caring. You typically need some sort of external event to change mass psychology. In this case, that event was Trump winning the election. The more I read about the recent Facebook scandal, it's clear this sort of thing's been going on for a very long time. The major difference is this time the data mining was used by campaign consultants of the person who wasn't supposed to win, Donald Trump. To get a sense of what I mean, let's take a look at some excerpts from a deeply troubling article recently published at The Guardian. Utterly horrifying. Ex-Facebook insider says covert data harvesting was routine. Hundreds of millions of Facebook users are likely to have had their private information harvested by companies that exploited the same terms as the firm that collected data and passed it on to Cambridge Analytica, according to a new whistleblower. Sandy Parakilas, the platform operations manager at Facebook responsible for policing data breaches by third-party software developers between 2011 and 2012, told The Guardian he warned senior executives at the company that its lax approach to data protection risked a major breach. Parakilas, whose job was to investigate data breaches by developers similar to the one later suspected of Global Science Research, which harvested tens of millions of Facebook profiles and provided the data to Cambridge Analytica, said the slew of recent disclosures had left him disappointed with his superiors for not heeding his warnings. "It has been painful watching," he said, "because I know that they could have prevented it." Asked what kind of control Facebook had over the data given to outside developers, he replied, "Zero. Absolutely none. Once the data left Facebook servers there was not any control, and there was no insight into what was going on." Parakilas said he always assumed there was something of a black market for Facebook data that had been passed to external developers. However, he said that when he told other executives the company should proactively audit developers directly and see what's going on with the data, he was discouraged from the approach. He said one Facebook executive advised him against looking too deeply at how the data was being used, warning him, "Do you really want to see what you'll find?" Parakilas said he interpreted the comment to mean that Facebook was in a stronger legal position if it didn't know about the abuse that was happening. He added, "They felt that it was better not to know. I found that utterly shocking and horrifying." Parakilas, 38, who now works as a product manager for Uber, is particularly critical of Facebook's previous policy of allowing developers to access the personal data of friends of people who used apps on the platform, without the knowledge or express consent of those friends. This is deeply unethical and sleazy behavior, but it also was routine for years before the Cambridge Analytica news. That feature, called Friends Permission, was a boon to outside software developers who, from 2007 onwards, were given permission by Facebook to build quizzes and games, like the widely popular Farmville, that were hosted on the platform. Parakilas does not know how many companies sought Friends Permission data before such access was terminated around mid-2014. However, he said he believes tens or maybe even hundreds of thousands of developers may have done so. Parakilas estimates that a majority of Facebook users could have had their data harvested by app developers without their knowledge. The company now has stricter protocols around the degree of access third parties have to data. Parakilas said that when he worked at Facebook it failed to take full advantage of its enforcement mechanisms, such as a clause that enables the social media giant to audit external developers who misuse its data. Legal action against rogue developers or moves to ban them from Facebook were extremely rare, he said, adding, "In the time I was there, I didn't see them conduct a single audit of a developer's systems." During the time he was at Facebook, Parakilas said the company was keen to encourage more developers to build apps for its platform, and one of the main ways to get developers interested in building apps was through offering them access to this data. Shortly after arriving at the company's Silicon Valley headquarters, he was told that any decision to ban an app required the personal approval of the chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg, although the policy was later relaxed to make it easier to deal with rogue developers. While the previous policy of giving developers access to Facebook users' friends' data was sanctioned in the small print in Facebook's terms and conditions, and users could block such data sharing by changing their settings, Parakilas said he believed the policy was problematic. "It was well understood in the company that presented a risk," he said. Facebook was giving data of people who had not authorized the app themselves, and was relying on terms of service and settings that people didn't read or understand. It was this feature that was exploited by Global Science Research, and the data provided to Cambridge Analytica in 2014. GSR was run by the Cambridge University psychologist Alexander Kogan, who built an app that was a personality test for Facebook users. The test automatically